Do you truly love yourself? How can you tell? In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we often overlook the importance of one relationship that forms the bedrock of all others. That relationship is the one we have with ourselves, the practice of self-love. Now, self-love is not about narcissism or self-centeredness. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about acknowledging your worth and treating yourself with the same kindness, respect, and compassion that you would extend to a loved one. Self-love is like a beacon, guiding us to make healthier choices and decisions that serve our well-being and happiness. It's that gentle voice inside that tells us it's okay to take a break when we're exhausted, to say no when our boundaries are being crossed, and to believe in ourselves when we're riddled with self-doubt. And just like any other relationship, the relationship with oneself requires nurturing. It's not a destination, but rather a journey that unfolds each day. It's about being patient with yourself, about celebrating your successes, however small they may be, and about accepting your imperfections, knowing that they don't define your worth. So how can you tell if you truly love yourself? Well, there are 5 key signs. These signs include practicing self-compassion, setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, engaging in self-care practices, indulging in positive self-talk, and accepting your imperfections. Self-compassion involves being kind to oneself during times of failure or suffering. Healthy boundaries refer to the limits we set with others to protect our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Self-care practices encompass activities that help us relax, rejuvenate, and reconnect with ourselves. Positive self-talk involves replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations. And lastly, accepting your imperfections involves acknowledging and embracing your flaws, understanding that nobody is perfect. These signs serve as a roadmap, guiding us towards a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling relationship with ourselves. They empower us to honor our needs and feelings without guilt or hesitation, to accept ourselves fully, and to live authentically. Now that we understand what self-love is, let's dive into the signs that indicate you truly love yourself. The first sign of self-love is self-compassion. This isn't just about being kind to yourself in your thoughts and actions, although that's certainly part of it. Rather, self-compassion is a broader concept that involves understanding and empathizing with ourselves, particularly during moments of failure or suffering. Picture the most compassionate person you know. How do they react when someone they care about is going through a tough time? They likely offer comfort, empathy, and reassurance, right? They remind that person that everyone at some point or another faces challenges and feels pain. Now imagine directing that same compassion toward yourself. This is the essence of self-compassion. It's about acknowledging that you, like everyone else, are human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to face hardships. And that's okay. It's part of the human experience. We all stumble, we all fall, and we all have the capacity to rise again. When we practice self-compassion, we're not just being kind to ourselves. We're acknowledging our shared humanity. We're recognizing that suffering and failure aren't unique to us, but rather they're experiences that unite us all. This realization can be incredibly liberating. Practicing self-compassion also involves replacing self-criticism with self-acceptance. When we stumble, our instinct might be to berate ourselves, to dwell on our perceived shortcomings. But this kind of self-criticism is both damaging and unproductive. Instead, when we approach our failures with compassion, we create a safe space for growth and learning. Self-compassion isn't about denying our faults or failures. It's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and then moving forward, without berating ourselves for being imperfect. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we'd extend to a loved one in a similar situation. In essence, self-compassion is about being your own best friend, especially during the tough times. It's about offering yourself the same comfort, empathy, and love that you'd offer to someone you deeply care about. After all, shouldn't you extend the same kindness to yourself that you would to others? Remember, to love oneself is to show compassion to oneself. The second sign of self-love is setting healthy boundaries. This is where our journey takes an interesting turn. Healthy boundaries are like the walls of a castle. They protect the precious treasures within, your time, your energy, your space, and your kindness. Setting boundaries is a skill that requires practice and patience. It involves a keen understanding of your limits. It's about knowing when you've had enough, when you need to step away, when to say no. It's recognizing that your well-being is important and that you have the right to protect it. Imagine your energy as a beautiful, glowing light. Now imagine others trying to draw from that light. Without boundaries, you could end up feeling drained, depleted, and empty. But with healthy boundaries in place, you can ensure your light continues to shine brightly, nourishing you and illuminating your path. Some people fear that setting boundaries might make them seem selfish, or that it might push others away. But it's important to remember that boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about maintaining balance, about ensuring you have the energy, the time, and the peace of mind to be the best version of yourself. Boundaries are also about respect for yourself and respect for others. When you set boundaries, you communicate your needs clearly. You show others that you value your time and energy, and in turn, you teach them to value these things too. In the grand scheme of things, boundaries are a crucial aspect of self-love. They're a testament to your self-worth, a statement that says, "I respect myself enough to protect my peace and well-being." And remember, boundaries are not set in stone. They can shift and change as you grow and evolve. What matters is that they serve your well-being and contribute to your happiness and peace. So don't be afraid to set those boundaries. Let them be the fortress that protects the precious treasures within you. Let them be the sentinels that guard your peace, your energy, your time, and your kindness. Loving yourself means standing up for your own needs and not allowing others to cross your boundaries. The third sign of self-love is maintaining self-care practices. These practices are about more than just bubble baths and face masks, though there's nothing wrong with a bit of pampering. Self-care is about respecting your body, your mind, and your emotions. It's about creating a lifestyle in which you acknowledge your needs and prioritize them. It's about eating nourishing food to fuel your body and mind, and staying active to keep your energy levels high. It's about ensuring you get a good night's sleep, because your body and mind need time to rest and rejuvenate. It's also about practicing mindfulness or meditation, to keep your emotions balanced and your mind sharp. Self-care practices are not a luxury. They are a necessity in life. They are a way of saying to yourself, "I matter, I am important." They are a way of showing yourself love. Remember, taking care of your well-being is a sign of self-love. The fourth sign of self-love is engaging in positive self-talk. Now, what does this mean? Picture it as having a friendly conversation with yourself, one filled with kindness and positivity. It's about replacing those negative whispers of self-doubt with empowering affirmations. Positive self-talk is like being your own cheerleader. It's the voice that says, "Yes, you can do it," or "You're doing great." It's the uplifting voice that boosts your confidence and keeps your spirit high, even when the chips are down. It's not just about mere words, though. The way we speak to ourselves greatly influences our outlook on life. A positive dialogue can make the world seem brighter, our goals more achievable, and our failures less daunting. It's like a pep talk that keeps us moving forward no matter the hurdles. So the next time you find yourself in a tough spot, remember to speak to yourself like you would to someone you love. Always remember the way you talk to yourself matters. The fifth and final sign of self-love is acceptance of imperfections. This concept is not about celebrating your shortcomings or ignoring areas for growth, but rather acknowledging that nobody is perfect. It's about understanding that it's entirely okay to have flaws. Imagine a diamond with a tiny flaw. The flaw doesn't make the diamond any less precious. It simply adds to its unique character. Similarly, our imperfections make us who we are. They are part of our unique story, our personal journey. Accepting our imperfections involves a healthy dose of self-awareness. It's about looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, "I see my flaws, I acknowledge them, and I accept them as part of who I am." It's about letting go of the unrealistic expectations we often set for ourselves and embracing ourselves, warts and all. This doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement, but rather we learn to love ourselves in the process. Embracing your imperfections is the ultimate form of self-love. In conclusion, Self-love is about treating oneself with kindness, respect, and understanding. It's about nurturing a relationship with ourselves that's founded on acceptance and forgiveness. It's about seeing our worth and not settling for less than we deserve. Let's take a moment to recap the 5 signs of self-love we've discussed. First, we have self-compassion, which means being gentle with ourselves, acknowledging our feelings and responding to our mistakes with understanding rather than harsh criticism. Second, setting healthy boundaries, which involves respecting our own needs, saying no when necessary, and understanding that it's okay to prioritize ourselves. Thirdly, maintaining self-care practices, which include taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental health. Fourth, engaging in positive self-talk, which means replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations. And finally, accepting our imperfections. This involves embracing our flaws and understanding that they make us unique. Remember, the first step to loving others is to love oneself. So do you truly love yourself? Reflect on these signs and see where you stand.